Well, it's not nighttime, but at least there's one freak here. Mike's in New York. The freak is me, Stoney. Rico, ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Hatchett. How are you, everybody? Everybody good?
I was really wondering where you were going with this.
Kind of a freak.
Okay.
More so back when I was younger, but yeah, kind of a freak.
Stoney's freak stories. 248-5. No.
No need to bring back Len Bias stuff. Okay. Rico, I just want to ask you one question right now. Mm-hmm. Do you hate Jake Moody more or less after last night?
Oh, I love him. Oh, he helped me win.
Okay.
I absolutely love him.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking because he sucked for your 49ers.
Oh, he's somebody else's problem now,
Yeah.
but
he came through.
I had the Bears and 4.5 points. So,
Yeah.
yep, he helped me.
Well, that's why you're wearing a DeAndre Swift jersey today.
Yeah,
He played pretty well, man. He's having a pretty good season.
When the fumble happened, I was like, wait a minute, I may win this thing.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, they're going to kick a field goal. It's going to be a 5-point game. I'm going to end up losing. Dang.
That was full circle from their game last year.
Yes.
You know, you think the Bears are going to win. They have the freaky Hail Mary play. And this week, you think the Commanders are going to win. And then a ridiculous fumble.
So, no, in the rain. So, hey, I'll take it. Moody, fine as a Bear. Trust me, Lions fans, you're going to love the fact he's a Bear because he's going to miss a lot of field goals for the Bears.
Probably.
Plain and simple.
I don't even know if he's going to have his job back once the regular kicker comes back from the injury. You never know. Because the regular kicker was doing pretty well. All right. The telephone number is 248-539-9797. I was telling with Doug and Gator earlier in Crosstalk, let's talk about what you guys didn't really get into yesterday because you only had an hour show after the big Red Wings win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Speaking of jerseys, Kenny's got his Mason Appleton jersey on right now, right? Anyway, come on. Let's fly. So I was at the Scott Harris press conference yesterday, and I was stunned. It was with AJ Hinch, too, that it was an hour. That I give them credit. They didn't cut anything off. They just went as long as people ran out of questions.
No, and I think they had to because there was a lot of questions that people wanted to answer. And I do applaud them for kind of standing up there and taking the bullets. And you guys, I listened, and you guys fired away. Mm-hmm. There was no soft shoe. There was no, it was some tough questions, and they gave some honest answers.
Right.
They spun it their way.
Of course.
But they gave answers where I was just assuming they would say, well, we don't really want to do that. We don't really want to talk about that. Let's just focus on this. It was like, yeah. In hindsight, maybe. Yeah. I mean, the Suarez taking a stray, like, dude, if you're going to give him a stray, say his name.
Right.
Okay, don't do that. Because last time I checked, he hit a home run here. He's still playing.
Correct.
You're not.
Right.
That's why you're giving the press conference.
Yeah, and there was, other relievers, too, that, a lot of people wanted. Hemsley from St. Louis, who went to the Mets and just completely bombed. I know I was a big fan of Jake Bird of Colorado. He pitched for the Yankees for, 2 games, and then they got rid of him. So, look, everything that people wanted were not hits. So Scott Harris is correct in that, but he should have realized that they needed another bat, and he, basically said, yeah, we probably could have, but we didn't. So he didn't. The bottom line to me, I don't know if anybody else saw this or figured this out, because I think it was pretty obvious. If we believe Scott Harris, and I don't think he would lie, it seemed like every deal that we thought they should make, the other team wanted Troy Melton. Because he talked about, not giving up a guy who actually helped us during the playoffs, and he definitely did.
Yeah.
A young pitcher. And
that's the only young guy that helped in the playoffs,
right,
was Troy Melton.
Right, and he was a guy, and everybody said, for Suarez, and I don't remember exactly what the haul, because it wasn't as big as what people thought, that Seattle had to give up to Arizona to get him, but everybody was saying, well, Arizona wants young pitching. And as all the great prospects the Tigers have, young pitching is not one of them. It's not that it's all position players. So maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe he wanted these guys and didn't want to part with Troy Melton. And you know what? Early returns on Troy Melton, I don't know if I would want to give him up either. I think he has a chance to be really freaking good.
See, let me remind people of what the deal was at the time. The Mariners got Suarez. The D-backs gave up first baseman prospect Tyler Locklear. He was the number 9 prospect in the Mariners system. Hunter Cranton was a pitcher in their system, number 16. And a Juan Burgos, which was number 17 in their system.
Right.
So a lot of people believe that was not a lot.
Correct. Now, we do know that each team judges their own prospects and other prospects by, they have their own ratings for them, their own rankings. It's not, we don't take Baseball America. Every team does not use Baseball America and MLB Pipeline and all that stuff. So who knows? Maybe those guys were higher, rated by the Diamondbacks. I don't know. But yeah, it seemed like Suarez was somebody that they could have gotten. And look, he didn't do much during the regular season for Seattle. I mean, what, have 9 home runs, I think, in the regular season?
For Seattle, yes.
Yeah,
I believe so.
For Seattle. And he hit like 180. His OPS was not very good. But just the fact of having him in the lineup means other teams have to, pitch differently to your other players. And that's where he would have helped. And all you needed him to do is probably help you win 3 more games.
I'm sorry, he had 13 home runs for Seattle.
Okay, so a few more games could have gotten them the division, home field for the first round, which they ended up winning anyway. And would it have been enough wins for them to get the second seed, get a bye? I don't think so. But whatever. So 248-539-9797. Is there anything he said yesterday that makes you happy or makes you pissed off?
I guess for me, when he kind of talked about, we won more games this year. So he kind of labeled this year as a success.
Right.
Because you won a game more.
But they actually did the exact same thing they did last year. They lost Game 5 of the ALDS on the road.
But I guess technically we were talking about pre-show. You technically were in the playoffs longer because it was a 9-inning game versus a 15-inning game. But I'm sure they'll say, hey, we were in the playoffs longer than we were last year. Yeah. I don't see this was a success at all. I think this was kind of a glass half full.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I did not like was the whole semantics. Well, if you would have just reversed how we played, and if we would have started off bad and finished strong, then I think it would be different feelings here. And it's like, okay, but that's not what happened.
No.
What happened was
that's what happened last year.
Yeah. You guys made sure we all knew, hey, we're the first to 20. We're the first to 30. We're the first to 40. Hey, we got a bunch of fake all-stars. We got all of this stuff. And you don't get to then turn around and rewrite history. Well, if we started off slow and finished strong, you guys would be feeling better. No, that's not what happened.
No.
We saw you collapse. We saw you not make any gigantic moves at the trade deadline. You tried to sugarcoat it. But that was the one, like, come on, man. Be real with the people. The people are not stupid.
Right. Well, he was real, and obviously he has vision. He's not blind, was when he talked about the hitting. They still can't figure out what the hell happened. Obviously you get pitched a little differently, but the fact that the hitting just went away. Even if you take into consideration that they might have overachieved a little bit earlier hitting-wise, nobody, me, you, anybody could have ever had the vision to say that this team was going to go completely down the old, swinging the bats, even though they weren't great players.
No. So that was the thing that got me. So 248-539-9797. Was this season a success? Because I don't think it was. I think that if you can make the case, it was the same as last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I would say last year was better because last year was unexpected. Mm-hmm. Last year was a joy. Last year was fun. Last year, we all rallied around and just said, hey, let's see how far this team could go.
This year, it was laborious. You were saying, oh, my God, when will this end? Because it was so tough to be a fan because it was such a bad watch. So, yes, this year was worse emotionally for a fan. As far as, nuts and bolts, wins and all that, yeah, it's a little better, but who cares?
So 248-539-9797. Was this season a success for you? I say no. And if you say no, how do you fix this thing?